Snake eyes on the clock. This Texans game is over. So join me on the field, in the locker room, in the tunnels, wherever, post-game, along with my good pal John Harris, the radio sideline reporter, as we break down a little bit of what just happened with your Texans in today's game. And please, take a moment to like, subscribe, and review this podcast. There's nothing else like it. Nobody else is on the field post-game like this covering your Texans. Here we go. All right, here we are with John Harris, walking from the locker room down to the interview room. This was a stinker pretty much from play one.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, when Joe went deep to Cooper, on the first play of the game, I'm like, oh, boy. I mean, it was after a good kickoff return, too. And
yes.
I remember saying, when Mark threw it down to me, I was like, well, they treated that like a turnover. They got the ball around midfield and said, we're going to take a shot play right off the bat. I thought, oh, boy, that's not a good sign because Joe's a rhythm thrower, and he got in a great rhythm. And I think of all the quarterbacks we faced all year, I think he's the best. I mean, he was fantastic today, and there was no equal for him. And then the offense, struggled to get things going, obviously until the fourth quarter. Just couldn't get any offense going other than, obviously Damien's kickoff return. So that was about it. But, to me, there was a turning point in the game. It was 14-7, and we had the ball around 40-yard line-ish. Had a nice run, real nice run off to the right side. And it looked like, okay, you're going to get the ball on the other side of the 50, maybe you get something going down 14-7, and gets called back for holding. And, it's just one of those days you just kind of felt like you're stepping all over yourself, and that's just not something you can do against a good football team. That's with Joe Flacco pulling the trigger. That is a really, really good football team that we ran into. That's one I would go so far as to say that's the best football team we've seen all year, and Ravens included.
John, I'm still mystified at why the Cowboys let Amari Cooper go. I mean, he doesn't do this every game, but goodness gracious, there's not too many guys capable of doing something like what he did today.
Yeah, it was frustrating, because when you watch Coop, he's not really the fastest. He's not really the most explosive. Like, I watched him a couple times just kind of almost jog off the line, and then boom, he would hit a different gear. And I'm watching this kid live since he was a freshman. I went to the SEC championship game in 2012, and I saw him do exactly that. He ran a route, and it looked like in that game he was kind of jogging through his route, and all of a sudden the ball was thrown, and he went to a different level and went and got it. But his body control was incredible. I mean,
because there was pretty good coverage on him most of the day. Pretty good coverage, and he still comes down with it.
Yeah, I mean, the last fourth down catch he has on the far side and going into the north end zone, I mean, Stingley's 2 inches away from knocking that ball away, and Coop is able to catch it, get 2 feet in bounds, bang, bang, and it plays over. Like, what are we doing? I mean, it's like you just couldn't stop him all day. You couldn't get heat on Joe. You were without Grenard, Anderson, and Blake Cashman, which really is going to impact you. But you just didn't get good play from your secondary today. I mean, they were close in coverage, but there was a big 3rd and 10 at one point, and Elijah Moore went across the field wide open. While 2 guys were going with Cooper, Moore goes wide open. He catches the ball, gets down inside. They score a couple plays later. So it was just a tough day all around. And you got to bounce back because it's the Titans next. You got some help from the Falcons today, which is great. Hopefully you'll get some help from the Bucs. That'd be great. But you really just mentally got to bounce back, and it's kind of been this way for a few weeks. Win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. The swings are kind of all over the place, and we got to even it out next week against the Titans.
Yes, you brought up the big guy, Grenard, leaving, and he was without Will Anderson as well. You also lose chunks of your secondary today. Jimmy Ward exits with a hamstring injury, but it looks like help is on the way. Maybe C.J. Stroud plays next week. Maybe Blake Cashman comes back. Maybe even see Will Anderson. So it's one of those things. And you're not going to see a team as good as the one you saw today.
I wouldn't think so, but you never know. Ryan Tannehill's come in here and done some things, and we'll see who's available. So, Drew, I got to go. But, just a tough effort, and hopefully get back to it. Maybe we'll get back to it next week.
All right. Merry Christmas to you, John. Tight end Brevin Jordan. Brevin, ultimately, what do you think the difference today was?
We just didn't show up, honestly. It was just one of those things where we started slow, and we just had to find our way back. And it just was one of those things where we just couldn't. We weren't connecting all cylinders today. And then, it obviously showed in the score.
Was there a little bit of encouragement late when you guys do start to get the touchdowns and you kind of have a chance to kind of scratch and claw back in?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you start scoring, obviously it gives everybody confidence. It gives everybody, a little swagger to go down there and score again. And then when we got the onside kick, we were just as eager to go down and do it again. But we got to start faster, man. I mean, if you don't start faster, then you can't win games.
Good news is still have 2 games left. You have one coming up next week against a team you've already beaten. Yep. So what do you do to get ready for a Titans bunch They're smart from their second straight loss today.
Yep. I mean, it's the same mindset that we've had, Swarm, Swarm mindset. We got to get back to, we got Christmas off tomorrow, but we got to get back to work. Nothing changes. No matter who the opponent is, no matter the weather, whatever it is, it's back to the drawing board, get back to work on practice for Wednesday.
Brevin Jordan, Merry Christmas.
I got Merry Christmas.
Nico, with 2 games left, there's still a whole lot to play for. You got a lot in front of you guys. How do you get beyond this one and get ready for a Titans team? You guys have already beaten.
Yeah, for sure, man. We got to continue to, be ourselves, learn from this game, watch the film, watch the Tennessee game from last week. Because, them boys going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. You know that, second time around. So we got to continue to be us, continue to go full speed all the time. Keep being us, man. Reach our end goal at the end of the day.
What do you remember about the touchdown you caught?
Touchdown? Thank God, man. Blessings. Touch paint. You never happy to score touchdowns, but we didn't get the dub. Kind of like, when you made it out healthy, that's all that matters, man, and getting ready for next week.
Michael, how do you do that? What do you need to do to get ready for a Titans team that you guys have beaten already? They lost again today. What do you guys have to do? I know there's a Christmas break, obviously on Monday, but what's next?
Just locking in on this week's plan. Obviously, we did beat them, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't get us a win this week. So getting ready to execute for 4 quarters, play in and play out, and just try to be as consistent as we can to try to give ourselves a chance to win another football game. That's really all you can do is just get back to work.
Everybody has injuries across the NFL. You guys had some today. You came in a little short-handed in some spots. I mean, no one's blaming it on that, but how much does that affect what you guys want to do?
It definitely changes things a little bit, but it's the NFL. It's like you said, everyone's dealing with it. We got to find a way to execute more consistently with all 11 guys on offense for sure, and we can do that. So it's definitely not an excuse. It's a little bit of adversity, which is fine. It just makes things a little harder, but it isn't the end of the world, and we got to just find a way to win.
And that seems to be the common refrain around this locker room. Today's tough, but it's like you said, there's 2 left, and you guys can kind of control where you want to go when it's all said and done by winning.
Yeah, and it's exciting. Not everyone's in that situation, so you got to be thankful for at least we have the opportunity to win some games and earn another one. So learn from this, but move forward and get ready to just play better football.
Senator Michael Deiter, Merry Christmas. Thanks so much for the time.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.